Welcome to Moonboard Beginners, a series where we analyse the most repeated Moonboard benchmarks. In this episode, we're discussing In on the Action, the most repeated problem on the 2017 board. So, first things first, we're going to talk through the moves and the various ways which they can be done. So, the first move. It's fairly simple, it's just a drop knee and flag out to a nice juggy hold. The second move, however, can be done in a few ways. So first we see the high heel, if you're perhaps a bit shorter or just love a good heel. You can see I'm a bit scrunched as someone who's about 5'11", but it does feel very secure going up for the next hold. Alternatively, you can just use a right flag. I find this a bit easier for my height, but of course, if it doesn't suit you, just do the other option. The third move here is what differentiates this problem from a few other variants at the V3 range. It's a lovely cross due to a massive pinch, maintaining a strong left flag. To the fourth hold, we essentially have a few options, but it's just personal preference really. For me, the back flag feels a bit strange, but it still works of course, whereas driving through the left leg feels a lot more secure and better for me. Alternatively, you can just keep your feet low and drive up, but that mightn't work if you're a bit shorter. The last move is where some people get stuck. You might initially think it requires a bit of momentum to drive up there, which of course it works, but I believe a drop knee to make the reach a bit shorter helps a lot more than just jumping. So let's deconstruct each of these moves and discuss exactly what is going on here. Obviously, now we start matched on the white. I make sure to set my feet correctly, so you don't always have to use the yellow footholds. The space in between them is amazing for flags, and honestly, it's probably detrimental to always try to use the yellow feet. They're very slopey and not very good. Where your feet flag is really dependent on your height. My foot rests naturally there, but yours might be closer or further away. So here, I'm setting up for a tight right drop knee to make the first move less of a reach. It's important to note that I don't tuck all the way in with my arms for this move. It's possible, of course, to just lock off, but that's just wasting energy. What I do instead is drop knee first, and as I tuck my hips in close to the wall, I then spring out right. This means you're conserving energy and utilizing some momentum instead. We basically always want to try to get our hips in close as possible to the wall. This is very good advice in general for climbing, but especially on the Moonboard. The first thing you'll have to do for this heel beta is make enough room for the heel to actually get on the hold. So what I do, I shuffle my hands along. Otherwise, if your fingers are small enough, you might be able to just plonk the heel down there and you'll be fine. Once you get the heel on, you want to make sure your heel is as perpendicular to the hold as possible to ensure you can actually pull with it through the next hold. As for the other alternative way to do it, the first instinct, if you're a bit taller, might just be to jump, which is totally fine, but there's also a way to make it a bit more easy and fluid. Even flagging and then jumping will actually make you less likely to fall off, but I think with a high right flag and a slight drop knee will mean you actually be able to do this statically, or at least even less chance to fall off. For this move, it's pretty much required to do a big drop knee and left flag. The real key here though is tucking your chest into the wall with the left arm to extend my reach out to the next hold. While doing so, making sure the flag is really tight and strong in order for you not to ping off the wall. With a flag this strong, you want to be really pushing and pointing your toe into the wall. You'll sort of feel it as a pressure against the wall. Now, as I mentioned before, this move has quite a few different options. The back flag can stabilize you fairly well to make the move out to the black hold. But I really prefer the left foot with the right flag. It feels a bit easier to drive through with my legs. The tallish beta would be to keep your left foot low and spring off to reach the next hold. If you're a bit shorter, this mightn't be possible, or you just have to really jump for it. Now, if you're stuck on this move, just try out any of the three options. You'll find which one works for you. If you want to opt for going to the last hold with some momentum, make sure to pay attention to where my hips are in these moves. You can see my hips are a bit out from the wall at first, my arms are straight, and my left leg is bent, so I can use it as a spring to extend upward. The biggest tip here is to thrust into the wall whilst extending that left flagging foot and pulling in the arms. Working all of these together will allow you to throw yourself up to the hold. Now, if you're a bit shorter, or just can't seem to make the jump work, this other beta might be for you. So what I do here instead is I drop knee with the right foot quite hard while making sure that left foot is also continuing to flag. You'll notice that it's basically the same foot positions including where the flag is. It's just I'm drop kneeing instead of jumping. Now, as always, the drop knee is giving you more reach, so even if you opt for the jump, you can still use the drop knee. So let's recap and see how I did it. So we start off with the drop knee and left flag. I cross through, set up for the heel with my feet, pull up through the heel to the next hold. I then step through, flag for the drop knee to cross, match with the feet, right foot up, opt for the tall beta. I then switch feet around a bit in order to do the last little jump.
You know you're climbing with socks on, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.